Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and we are going to be looking over the patch 7.35 notes for this video. Patch 7.35 is something that a lot rides on patch 7.35. It is the introduction of the new deep dungeon, Pilgrim's Traverse, which I really hope goes better than Eureka Orthos, because that, in my opinion, did not go over super well. It's okay, but it didn't have the longevity I wanted from the previous two deep dungeons. It's also going to be the introduction of the quantum difficulty, which is going to be a approaching 4-man ultimate style boss if you're doing it on its highest setting. It's basically a variable setting. It's probably going to be explained in the notes of the floor 99 boss from the deep dungeon. So I got to beat floor 100 on the deep dungeon to even start doing quantum prog. So it's going to be an interesting time. Also, the Monster Hunter Wild collaboration is here, as well as the Yakuza Society quests, which should be crafting, and Hildebrand, which I actually haven't caught up with in the last patch. So I have a lot to look forward to here. Let's look through the patch. It's also sort of new PvP season, if I recall. So, new side quests have been added. Pilgrim's Traverse, Pilgrimage of Light. I'm just going to be unlocking it over in the Crystarium. Just reminded me, while I'm in the Crystarium, I think you can buy Phoenix Downs there. I'm going to want Phoenix Downs for this deep dungeon, I think, since I'm doing it with a group of 4. Need to be level 91, and you need to have cleared floor 50 of Palace of the Dead. Ugh, listen, we knew it was coming. I still don't agree with it, but they did super buff the ether pool gain from floors 1 to 100. You're pretty much guaranteed 99.99 by the time you reach floor 100, but by the time you reach floor 50, you're probably like over 50 plus. Like I think I was 55, 52 on a new character. So it's much easier to get through floor 50 than it used to be. And then these are follow-up quests. Clear floor 30 of Pilgrim's Traverse, and then must complete Fairy Tale and clear the area marked by the final stone. So this is a floor 100 related quests here. And the fact that it's question mark, question mark, question mark, it's rare that they would hide the title. It must have something to do with Titania or something lore related, because I'm really surprised they're hiding the title of the floor 100. Oh, maybe they would. Oh, maybe because it has something to do with the floor 99 boss's name. But you don't know the boss's name. We only know what they look like. We have Hildebrand, of course, and we have Hardboiled and Hildebrand next to each other. What a time. A Vandal in the Wild, and then the follow-up quest after that. Yakuza Society quests have been added. This is just explaining quest syncing and Allied Society. This is just explaining how Allied Society quests works. I'm not going to read all this. Frosty Neighbors need to have Dawn Trail completed in the side quest Brains and Brawn, and then Disciple of Hand up in Urkelpacha. Brain and Brawn will be available after progressing through the quest chains, beginning with A Crisis Corruption and The Flames Burn No More. So yeah, if you didn't have the side quests done already, there you go. Those are what you'll need. And then question mark, question mark, question marks all the way through as we work through those over the next couple of weeks. This explaining currency, vendors, all that stuff. Monster Hunter collaboration is here. It is going to be at the Dawn Hunt tracker in Tuliolal. That is where you will find the quest, The White Wanderer. Housing, new housing furnishings have been added. We know there's Monster Hunter stuff. You can see some of that here. You can see there's some Pilgrim's Traverse stuff on the right-hand side. So, yeah, a whole bunch of stuff from both the Pilgrim's Traverse and the Monster Hunter, as you can see right here especially. Collaboration. New orchestrion roles, that's going to be the collaboration. That's probably going to be Pilgrim's Traverse as well, which is almost certainly going to have new music. Also, you know, the Yakuza will probably have their own new theme as well. New cards and new opponents for the Manderville Gold Saucer. New hairstyles. Ivy, do you have to be using the litter box right now? Sorry, one of my cats is trapped in here with me. This one's visiting, but Ivy's trapped in here with me because she hasn't been getting along with some of the other cats, so she needs to be reintroduced to them, while the ones she gets along with are allowed in here. New hairstyles inspired by the 14 hairstyle design contest entry is now available. There you go. There's a long hairstyle. It's like a medium length hair. New emotes have been added, a tea drinking one. Battle systems, new trials have been added. The Windward Wilds, that is against Arkvel. That is the Monster Hunter collaboration. Item level 725 or above in order to do it, and it is 8 players. Rewards, each player will receive a Veldian weapon coffer from just completing the Windward Wilds. In addition, Guardian scales may be carved from Guardian Arkvel's hide. Guardian scales may be exchanged for a variety of weapons and items at the smithy, so you get 1 weapon for free from completing the quest, and then you can get more weapons from repeatedly fighting the normal mode Guardian Arkveld, as well as some other items. There are, however, extreme weapons as well. Item level 740 or above can only be accessed via the Raid Finder, and it is 8 players, so they are not going down to 4 players for the Windward Wilds Extreme. Now let me see here. Okay, so there's no mention of the carding system at all. So it looks like they're completely doing away with carding. I wonder what that'll mean for Arkveld himself, like what kind of fight it will be, especially on Extreme. But you can see there's a Veldian weapon coffer and 2 Guardian Arkveld certificates. In addition, Guardian skills may still be carved. So it looks like you can still get the normal mode loot in the Extreme mode. So if you prefer to farm Extreme to get all the rewards, you can do that. But you still get weapon coffers every time that you do it, as well as I'd imagine the certificates. So certificates, I'm assuming, are totems. So I'm assuming it's whatever coffer drops. Each player, well, it says each player will receive, so it's probably still just used to get whichever weapons you don't actually get. But you get a coffer every time. Maybe the certificates are just used to upgrade the coffers into the Extreme versions. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait till the servers go live to see. Oh, certificates are required to enhance Veldian weapons. Duh. Read one line later, happy idiot. Yeah. So certificates just upgrade the weapons to the enhanced versions. Okay. A new deep dungeon, Pilgrim's Traverse, has been added. Deep dungeon, challenge a party. This is all the deep dungeon stuff. We don't need to read all this. If you've done deep dungeon before, watched any videos, they're all basically the same on the surface. This one is going to be a good bit different in terms of its progression, however. This is the quest, Pilgrimage of Light. We just saw this earlier in the Crystarium. Traverse stones. Each area in the Pilgrim's Traverse is marked by a number of stones to help guide the traveler along their way. Entering the Pilgrim's Traverse, deep dungeons have no restrictions to classes, jobs, or roles. Players may form a fixed party of 1 to 4 members or choose to be matched with 4 players in the Duty Finder. As with the Duty Finder, keep in mind it is not in the Duty Finder. Whenever you want to do Pilgrim's Traverse, you're going to have to go to the actual the person Vanthau and Ilmeg right here. It's something that deep dungeons do. They just don't go in the traditional Duty Finder. It's always been a bit of a hiccup with them, but it's not that big a deal. This is explaining fixed parties and matched parties, and then this is, so players will be matched to party members with the same dungeon progression recorded in their save data. In order to be matched, players must enter with the same class or job that was equipped when progression was first saved. Furthermore, Etherpool gear must meet certain strength requirements depending on the area being challenged. So these are all of the checkpoints, I suppose. Or at least these are all of the, whenever you're queuing in via the Duty Finder, you'll need to make sure your ether pool strength is 11, 33, 26, 26, 43, 43, 60, 60, 81, 81, 94, 94. So because I'm going to be doing quantum prog, I feel like this is actually a really good telling of how strong I should kind of be. I don't think 94, 94 is required at any capacity for 71 plus. It helps a lot, but I've beaten deep dungeons with like closer to, you know, 70 70 or 80 80 before. It just, especially later on from especially, you know, 81 to 100, it really sucks to not be as close to 99 99 as possible. But this is a good kind of strength measurement of where you should be for any of the given ones. And then if you are doing this via the matched party, these are the requirements. So make sure that you have these ether pool levels before queuing into the various bits. Save data will be recorded, such as player level, class, job, and dungeon progression. 2 save slots are available. This is all the standard stuff. Managing save data, you can do that at Vanthau. Resetting progress, disbanding a fixed party. Convert fixed party save data to match party save data. Under these conditions, you'll be able to match with other players who are currently playing. It resets your commanders. If any member of a fixed party are unable to enter the deep dungeon after the deletion of save data or usage of homeworld transfer service, they must select disband your fixed party to carry over their own save data. Area progression, this is again just explaining how you actually go through. There's the pylon of passage, which you unlock by defeating enemies in the area. Character growth, you can gain EXP within the deep dungeon, so when you enter, you'll actually be, as it says here, level 91, and then you'll have to get back to level 100 once you're inside. But also, upon clearing a set of 10 floors, you do actually gain out of deep dungeon EXP. Deep dungeons prior to Eureka Orthos were actually a really great leveling method. Some of us hated spamming them because you could do it a lot. It was quick, it was efficient, but it was not, you know, spamming one activity over and over again, no matter how good of a leveling system it is. It doesn't always feel great. But Palace of the Dead and Heaven on High were in their prime, insanely popular leveling methods. Eureka Orthos wasn't, because the early floors where most leveling is done, especially by casual players, agonizingly slow. The monsters were super beefy. Everything could kill you in one hit. It just wasn't fun to do it. We have seen some footage of Pilgrim's Traverse already, And it's looking like it is not like Eureka Orthos. So this may be a really, really good leveling method to use from 91 to 100. If anyone's just looking for something different other than roulettes, dungeon spam, fates, whatever, should be really good for that. Dungeon EXP, all enemy players will give a fixed. Yeah, it's just explaining how it works to actually level off the monsters inside. Actions via class or job quest will be available for use regardless of quest. So if you enter as a level 91 job, and you get to level 100 inside the dungeon, which is just an inside the dungeon exclusive thing. My cats are going crazy. I will let you out after I'm done, Bacon. You can use your level 100 skills, even though you're not technically 100, you're only temporarily level 100. So that's what that's explaining. This is explaining the different type of treasure coffers. Bronze coffers can contain fragments of illumined ether pool glass, which can be exchanged for special items. I'm assuming that sustaining potions, among other things, is very similar to Gelmore and Potsherds and the other currencies from the other ones. But I'm hoping that sustaining potions will also drop. And to normal items such as potions, yeah, I wonder if they're going to make sustaining potions super rare because this prog is new. They probably will. Only Palace of the Dead has the special sustaining potion drops. Silver coffers strengthen ether pool gear or contain juniper essence. Juniper essence are super powerful items that you can use to help progress. Usually best saved for oh shit moments or really Bacon can open the door. I forgot. I'm gonna have to step away mid-recording most likely in order to close the door because the one cat that can open doors is the one trapped in here. And you need to open these to strengthen ether pool gear. However, they can also explode. So you don't want to be missing health when you actually open. I forget if silver coffers, I think silver coffers are based on max HP, not current HP. I'm trying to remember. I think because one of the two, there's like a landmine trap and there's the ether pool chest explain. I think the landmine traps are based on current XP, current HP, so they can't kill you technically, but silver coffers are based on max HP, so they can kill you. So you don't want to be missing health when you open a silver coffer, but you do need to open them a lot. Gold coffers yield pomanders. That's going to be the most common thing that you care about. Ether pool gear. So inside, your actual gear doesn't matter at all. Only your ether pool level, your ether pool arm and armor. And then all your ether pool stuff will take the appearance of your current gear upon entering the instance. But you can also actually exchange. Hey, Bacon. Hey, leave Ivy alone. Get out. Hey, get out. This is what happens when you live in a house with five cats. They get along, but he was too antsy. He had too much energy, and now Ivy is upset. So that's my morning. Now back to the patch notes. You can actually exchange ether pool arm and armor for grips, and then use the grips to get the gear outside. So you can see these like weapons that they have: the Astro Globe, the Bard bow, the Paladin sword and shield, all of that. That like stained glass look, you can get that outside, but that's what your gear will look like inside as well for your actual weapons. Pomanders are, you know, one-time use items, same deal as other deep dungeons from before them. And then the juniper essences are exclusive to specifically Pilgrim's Traverse. Up to 3 pieces can be held in inventory, shared by all party members. By burning incense, players can call the Fairy King, Titania, to assist. Well, for us it's Feo-Ol, but they are Titania still. In a variety of ways, such as delivering high damage to all enemies within a given area or healing party members. Traps. Deep dungeons are rigged with traps. Always hug the walls if you don't know where the traps are. That is a landmine trap right there. The Accursed Horde. Exploring deep dungeons, players will on occasion discover hidden treasures. Treasure is invisible unless a player uses a certain commander to reveal its location. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking for those while we're in there. Commander in question is in effect. It'll show you in the navigation map. Players may take pieces of Accursed Horde out of the deep dungeon by saving progress. You have to actually beat the 10 floors that you're getting. And delivering this treasure to Tirmarn. It's kind of like a gotcha thing once you actually pull it out. Like there's a bunch of rewards and they open it for you. And you just kind of hope for the best things. There's mounts, fashion accessories, and then there's a bunch of, you know, the usual nonsense that's usually in these things. The navigation map, there is Fog of War. Basically, you can't see where you're going natively unless you use a Pomander or you actually explore everything room by room. But as you explore them, it'll show you icons for all this stuff. Bronze coffer, silver coffer, gold coffer, pylon of passage inactive, active, altar of return inactive, active, and the votive chandelabra, which is a brand new feature inside of Pilgrim's Traverse. Also area of effects, you know, there's status effects, gloom, prohibited actions, and stuff like that. And then you have the votives. So these are Gamba kind of things. Before floor 30, they will always strengthen your character on the next floor after you activate them. However, after floor 30, they can either be really good buffs or really bad debuffs. So, you know, may increase the number of hidden traps, you know, but they can also do things like weaken enemies or heal over time. So after floor 30, it's a bit of a gamble whether or not you actually want to use them. I'd say floor 30 to like 60, it's probably still fine to take whatever negative effects they have. Usually deep dungeons aren't that bad by those levels. 61 plus, especially 71 plus, most people will probably just pretend they don't exist because it's just going to be too risky to try to do them. So here you go. You also have tomestones from stone 10, stone 20, and stone 30 and beyond, poetics, heliometry, mathematics, and even just a flat amount of gil. Your actual EXP that you gain will also continue to, it'll probably stagnate at floor 30, at stone 30. And so most people farm 21 to 30 as the leveling range, because that's usually where the EXP caps and the difficulty is still very, very easy. But if you're level 100, then obviously you'll get tomestones and stuff. But if you're, yeah, and then this is the rewards if you are under level 100, experience, skill, and poetics. Fragments of illumined ether pool glass will also be rewarded at stones 30, 50, and 70. So you're guaranteed ether pool glass at those levels. Very important. They also added challenge logs to the deep dungeons, which is brand new. You can earn luminous oils or pieces of the blessed hoard, depending on which ones you're actually completing. In the event you have a full inventory, these items cannot be acquired. Make sure you do not have a full inventory. Luminous oils can be traded for a variety of items at Oswid, so another thing. And then the Blessed Hordes are more gambles. You can receive items, including First Light relics, which then may be traded to... Oh, sweet, yes. So there's a lot of stuff that you can trade to this character that you can get from the various pieces of all the different rewards. The Illumined Ether Glass, the Luminous Oils, the Hordes, all that stuff. Obtaining Ether Pool weapons. This is explaining step by step exactly what you need to do. I already explained it earlier, getting the grips. So if you need instructions, fortunately, they added them here. Entering the dungeon midway, will be given the option to start from the following stones. Yeah, so you don't have to start back from floor 1 or 21. The big thing with every deep dungeon prior is the early starting points were the only starting points. So in Pals of the Dead, that's floor 1 or 51, but it has 200 floors. You can't enter from like any floor above 51. In the other two deep dungeons, 1 and 21 were the only entry points. You cannot re-enter from a higher floor. They added a ton of checkpoints in this new one, so there's not as much pressure to, you know, need to be perfect all the way through. I don't know what that means for the solo. I'm hoping the solo achievement they added, or there is one, where you have 0 KOs, party KOs on your save file. I really do hope that's part of the solo achievement in this one, because otherwise, you know, it's going to be pretty easy to restart from 71 and go back to 100 as a solo. It's just the pressure's not really going to be there very much. So as you can see, there's now checkpoints at 31, 51, and 71, in addition to 1 and 21. So hopefully that's going to make it more approachable for a good number of people. And then there's scoring. Scoring is really for the hardcore deep dungeon players. Solo people do scoring runs. You know, there are group scoring runs as well, but while there is a leaderboard, it's a very fringe thing. Like, only very specific people actually do high score runs to try to get on the leaderboards on the website. The final verse is here as well. After you get to the floor 99 boss, or stone 99, then players can actually challenge the final verse. So whether you beat floor 99 or not, you get access to this instance. And it's basically used as a practice mode to practice the stone 99 boss, so that if then you can go back into the deep dungeon, beat stone 99, and get to stone 100. So it's its own separate thing altogether. It does technically have rewards to it, but it's not, you know, it's not meant to be spammed or done for any reason. A treasure coffer will appear and all parties will receive a random reward upon opening it. Occasionally, players may receive rare items. I think the rare item is the Blessed Hoard. That is the rare thing you can get. I don't know what the other random rewards are, but we've been told that it's just, you know, it's not really meant for loot. There just is loot associated with it. This, however, is the big thing. A new duty, the final verse quantum. That is a new screenshot right there. We see one of them holding a giant sword and then 2 different hands, one with dark in the back, one with light in the back, and both with fire chains in their hands. So Quantum is where the world prog will happen for a lot of us. While there are going to be people world progging a solo Pilgrim Traverse run, Quantum is a new difficulty type that is scaling difficulty. So requirement, you need to have completed the side quest, that question mark quest. Once this duty has been unlocked, it is no longer necessary to retain save data to reach the final area of Pilgrim's Traverse. This is basically just, you know, the harder version of that instance that they unlocked earlier. Your character attributes will not be affected by normal gear. So everything in this is ether pool, so your gear doesn't matter. You cannot use Phoenix Downs during the final verse, Quantum. It specifically mentions that. So in order to challenge it, you need to give sacramental offerings. There are 5 types of offerings, and you can give up to 40 offerings total. You're actually given 40 offerings upon completing the question mark quest. So you can challenge up to the max difficulty right away. Further offerings can be occasionally obtained by appraising pieces of Accursed Hoard in Pilgrim's Traverse. Very important. So if you wish to re-challenge it and get loot at the very least, then, you know, more people are going to need that. Players are free to choose how many offerings to use with a minimum of 15 and a maximum of 40. You can see this right here. Only the party leader can select offerings, and other party members are not required to possess the item. So your party leader is going to be the one using all their sacramental spirits, spices, grains, lights, and lilies, as you can see in this list here. Upon invoking the final verse Quantum, party members will gain a bonus to damage dealt according to the composition. So it's actually balanced like Criterion. That was a question that I had. The bonus increases with the number of jobs in your party that rely on actions that affect the entire party. It's meant to make it so that, like, you don't just take Samurai and Black Mage because they have the best personal damage. It equalizes more so the damage across all the jobs that can be played. And the more utilities you have, the more of a damage buff it gives you. It doesn't make those jobs better, it just means they're not useless. So you can kind of just play whatever you want. It's intended to compensate. Rewards upon victory, a treasure coffer containing pieces of the Blessed Hoard will appear. Only the player who selected the offerings required the entry can open this coffer. Once they do, their selected sacramental offerings will be expended. Rewards are proportionate to the number of offerings used, and the player who selected the offerings will receive more rewards than other players. Additionally, the appearance of the treasure coffer will appear. So this is interesting because I know only the party leaders is used, and can open this coffer. Once they do, rewards are proportionate, and the player who selected the offerings will receive more rewards than other players. I wonder if there's a way to make it so that, because I mean, wouldn't that mean you'd have to run it 4 times for everyone to expend? I thought it was going to be like just one person needed to offer everything up, but everybody still got stuff. Rewards are proportionate. The player who selected the offerings will receive more rewards than other players. Okay, so everybody still gets rewards. It's just that only one player is actually using their offerings. Okay, well, that's fine then, I suppose. It means that, I guess, 40 offerings goes a lot further than I expected, because you can actually do 4 full loot runs with a group of 4 people if you all have 40 offerings. So that's actually going to be interesting for forming parties later. Okay, I thought that it would still expend all of the offerings of the other 3 party members. I just thought it would, you know, only one person was really setting it up. It's not like all 4 people needed to set up their offerings. Okay, and yeah, if you do 40 offerings, you get a gold coffer, you know, so these are all the different tiers of the offerings and the color of the coffer, which will determine the number of rewards, which should determine the number of Blessed Hoards, I assume, since that's what you get from opening the chest. PvP adjustments, I'm not, you know, I did do the PvP tournament recently, but obviously I don't have great, you know, knowledge of the different PvP actions and how their balance effects. I mean, you could kind of glance over this and just see, you know, heavy effect. This is a nerf to Bloda from Warrior. This is a nerf to Eventide from Dark Knight. This is a buff to Rough Divide from Gunbreaker, giving them a whole extra charge. Charge time for the 3 Mudras has been reduced, so that's a buff, I believe. World Swallower, Noxious Gnash effect has been increased. That's a buff for Viper. Summoner gets a buff for damage and damage over time on Slipstream. White Mage gets a buff on Afflatus Purgation, and Sage gets a nerf on Phlegma 3. With the new season, that's really all you have to pay much attention to. My cats are just going crazy this morning, dude. Season 16 has ended. Season 17 will begin. Don't worry about your series. If you haven't done your series rewards, you have months still to do your series rewards. Oh my god, I think my cat's trying to open the door and come back in. These are the new data centers for the next PvP season. Crystal for North America, Light for Europe, Materia for Oceania, of course, and Meteor for Japan. New items have been added. This is the Monster Hunter collaboration items. This is the Hope set, as it is called. New recipes have been added. New mounts have been added. This is from Pilgrim's Traverse. A new chocobo. That's from Pilgrim's Traverse. You know, I haven't used my chocobo in a while. But, I think I might have to use that part. That's so funny. A new fairy minion, a Feo old minion, I suppose, being added. New fashion accessories, Pilgrim's Traverse. Most of these are Pilgrim's Traverse. I'd assume the face wear is Pilgrim's Traverse as well. In order to prevent server congestion, Ilmeg, Urkopacha, Shaloni, and the new area newly added in 7.35 will all have multiple field instances, extra hunts, especially for Dawn Trail, Urkopacha, and Shaloni. Following duty have been added to the Deep Dungeon category in the Party Finder window. Pilgrim's Traverse, Final Verse, and Final Verse Quantum. New achievements and titles, new portrait accents, new adventure plates. That is a Pilgrim's Traverse adventure plate. I think that looks that actually looks really good. New text commands / drink green tea. Very specifically, it's green tea this time. Savor tea. So these are different tea drinking animations. Wait a minute. Tea drinking animations. These are I think these are coming over from either the Chinese or the Korean version. I recognize these now that I think about it. Maybe not. Maybe we saw it in like the patch notes, and that's or like they like showed it during the patch. And that's how I'm writing. But no, I don't remember if these are from the Chinese or Korean versions. I don't remember. Additions have been made to the auto translation. New trophies, new achievements, new music, new scores. Resolved issues. I don't care about resolved issues. Not that it's not important. But I need to know if there's anything that's going to be about Pilgrim's Traverse, and maybe not. An issue when playing certain Yakuza Society daily quests wherein the icon indicating quest progression does not display correctly under certain conditions. An issue in the Deep Dungeon Pilgrim's Traverse wherein certain graphics are incorrect. That could be bad. Certain graphics being incorrect could be very, very bad. I wish they'd be a little bit more specific, but hopefully it's nothing too dangerous. But yeah, there was also a ton of resolved issues, as you can see right here. All right, and that is going to be it for the patch 7.35 patch notes. I still have a whole hour until the patch is live. The patch will not be available early because they know there's going to be World Prog with Quantum, with the Deep Dungeon, with Guardian Arkveld, and all that stuff. So I've got some time to kill. I'm going to get this up on YouTube, listen to some music, and chill with my chat. So thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Stay tuned. I'll probably be posting regular updates on my Palace of the Dead and Quantum progressions as we go through them. Probably like floors 1 to 30 as one video, 31 to 50 as a video, 51 to 70, and 71 to 100, kind of just all as their own videos, because those are the different breakpoints, those are the different stone levels that you can get. And then of course Final Verse if I have to do the actual normal mode instance, and then Final Verse Quantum as we make progression through that. When I get to Arkveld and Guardian Arkveld, we'll do that. We'll do opinion pieces. We'll be doing a State of the Realm on all this stuff. So it's going to be a busy video season for at least the next week and a half before I go to TwitchCon. Anyway, with that, on the YouTube video side, I'll see you next time on the Twitch side, the Twitch and YouTube live streaming side. I can stop ignoring you now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.